We'll make a beginning with the minutes that were sent via email. Any alterations or corrections for the drainage board?
Motion to approve.
All in favor, aye? 2-0. Okay, right to you, Jared.
So you guys, in your packet, you should have a proposed resolution. Ted has worked on this. There's been a couple of edits to it. And as we were looking through, there might be a couple of other just more technical things, not to the meat and potatoes of it. The footage of the tile that needs to be replaced, some of those things. But essentially, a resolution that we would relinquish jurisdiction of that Helms tile, this is down in the area near Almco Steel, over to the city of Bluffton. The other part of this is that needs to go to the city of Bluffton. They would either do a similar resolution or modify this one so that we would all sign it. But basically, we relinquish jurisdiction, they accept jurisdiction, and then everything just moves forward from there.
The information that needs to be completed, Jared, if I'm not correct, would be the fact that there is actually a third prong of the Helms tile that I don't know that we discussed when this issue was first brought up. We knew that there were prongs 1 and 2, but we have a third prong that we need to address. We also need to identify the proposed, the footage of the prongs and what it is that needs to be replaced. Would we be replacing the whole thing or just a portion of prong?
It's just a portion of prong 2, actually.
Okay. And then,
75.
That's the thing, I want to make sure that it's 275 or 290 or whatever that footage is. I need to get a better number. I think we put 275 in there just as a placeholder.
okay.
That's close, but it may differ from that slightly.
And again, we're not sure, have we obtained estimates?
No, and that's the question I want to
Okay.
ask the board. So, how do you guys, Almco is going to have a contractor that's doing their dirt work, their, site work. I can get a quote from that contractor pretty easily. Do you want other quotes for comparison? And the way it's going to be a little bit more difficult to quote that out is if it's another contractor, the timing, they're going to have some set deadlines that typically we don't necessarily set hard, fast deadlines. But it's going to have to match up with the other work that's being done out there so that, if you want this job, that's fine, bid on it, but it has to be done by this particular date.
I still say we do 3 bids. I mean,
Okay.
whoever's doing the job will have the advantage because they're going to.
They're already there. Yep.
But it just shows that we 3-bid everything, transparency.
Right.
Do you have an idea of what the cost could be?
I would estimate between 20 and 25,000.
Okay.
Another question is, can we do, or are you guys okay with if we do a not to exceed price? So like maybe a time and material not to exceed this dollar amount. One of the contractors that I have talked to about the project down there, he was concerned that there may have been fill placed in some of that area where they're going to be digging. And he says there might be concrete, there might not, we don't really know. So it's questionable. It might be all dirt, that's a piece of cake. Or it might be concrete, and if people know that there might be concrete that's buried in there, they're all going to bid like it's concrete.
I think they all need to bid the same, whatever it is.
But are you guys okay or comfortable with a not to exceed price? That
Because you would provide written notice with the value that I believe this particular project has, based upon your statement just now about the probable cost.
Well,
You can send out a request to 3 contractors, and that request for the bid should be the same for all 3 contractors.
Right.
And you can request a response for a not to exceed. If you wanted to, you could also say not to exceed, or give us a, estimate,
number.
however you want to do it. You could ask for both.
okay. But I want to make sure that all the contractors are bidding on the same thing.
Yeah.
And if what I'm afraid could happen, and this is more of a financial thing for us, is they think that they bid the worst case scenario and then it's not.
Yeah.
And then we pay extra for something that wasn't there. I want them to bid it all like uniformly so that, okay, if it's just dirt and it takes us half as much time, you get a bill for a lot less.
Cost plus not to exceed.
But if you guys are comfortable with a not-to-exceed price, it could come in less than that. So
I'm good with that.
Reasonable. I agree.
it's hard to do like on that, and especially on that smaller a unit price, it's hard to do that. So I would rather do here's the whole job, not to exceed, or however we want to do it. So
Do we need to make that decision now before?
If you guys just give-
Have the resolution?
I think if you guys just
Oh,
give
the
it right-
resolution first.
I would actually suggest that having that cost is probably going to be vital to the resolution ultimately, and knowing what that cost is.
we're not going to approve the resolution tonight. I just wanted guidance, and I think Ted wanted guidance, like how do we move forward
Yep.
from here?
Nice.
I can start getting prices, we can get the footage nailed down, he can start talking with the city attorney of, like, where do we go next?
When does OMCO start? I mean, there's a deadline to this thing.
I think I'm not so sure that they might not be moving dirt already.
Mobilized and I didn't go that direction.
I haven't been down that way for a couple weeks, but
And I apologize if we've covered this in prior board meetings. Is the cost for this project coming out of the general funds?
it will come out of, I believe, economic development money, because we
Okay.
can't, there's a limit, and I can't tell you exactly what it is. It's $10 per mile of drain that you have in the county is all you can take out of the GDI fund and put towards a project without a maintenance fund.
Yep.
That comes out to like $1,500.
Okay.
So there's not enough, there wouldn't be enough to do that project.
This is coming out of the EDC.
So it's gonna have to come out of like EDC money, or EDIT money, I guess.
Money, income tax.
So the
I just-
commissioners also really have a piece in that funding piece of it, but as commissioners.
So we may also want to consider whether or not this has to be approved by the Board of Commissioners as a separate body.
For the funding, I think it's gonna have to be.
Correct,
Right.
okay. So you've said lit, you've said eat it, you've said a couple different things. Where- Do we know?
Whatever, it's out of the, Lisa, it comes out of the commissioners, this tile for the OMCO, or the
Yeah.
Helmsley tile, whatever it is. It'll come out of the economic development bucket for the commissioners. Right, not out of the EDC bucket, out of the
Yep.
commissioners'
Well,
economic.
that's an option for the commissioners, you're saying, okay.
Yes. They have two different lines they could pay it out of in the economic development plans.
Okay. Thank you for letting me.
So,
We need a motion for anything
No.
today, or just,
I guess,
okay, just want to make sure.
give him direction that he can start contact with
Absolutely.
city attorney, we'll nail down prices and
Footages.
footages and all that. And then maybe at our next meeting, we'd be ready to move forward with,
Sounds like a plan.
okay?
I would suggest we don't come back to this board until we have the bid responses.
Hopefully I can have those ready and back by the next
Oh,
meeting.
okay. Oh, super, all right.
Great. I got 2 weeks, come on. Other item of business, and Ted had sent me I guess a clean version. You guys should have it in your packet, the consent to locate utilities within the drainage easement. He had tweaked the he had tweaked the language slightly from what our old one had, and then made, I think, a couple of other minor changes.
This was on request from the surveyor's office to modify some of it because some of the utilities had some concerns about the language in the prior consent. So we did tweak it a little bit in conjunction with Jared's office. However, I think the important thing, which may dovetail into another discussion today, is that this maintains the immunity, or at least the lack of liability on behalf of the Drainage Board for any work we do within the 75-foot from top of bank or the center lines of the tile created by statute and our obligations, which I do not recommend that we waive.
So the way this is drafted meets that requirement. correct?
It's intended to do so, yes.
Or, in your opinion, meets that requirement?
It's intended to do so, yes.
And
Would you like to ask again in a different way?
And it has Mr. Storer as the attorney instead of, I believe it was Roy Johnson that was on the last form that we were using, so.
So we need a motion.
Yes. Yes, we do. To approve this form. And there may be discussion again later at another meeting about it, but
So I'll make the motion to approve and accept the consent for utility for construction projects and the drainage easement as presented.
I'll second that. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
2-0. Okay. Don't really have any other, I guess on the ongoing projects, the BF Kane tile, this is out on State Road 124, west of County Road 100 East. NDOT finished their box culvert out there. It has been replaced across 124. So we'll start moving forward with getting a project together to extend that tile on. The landowners upstream of there have talked about trying to replace a section of that tile. So it was kind of wait until everything gets done under 124 before we move forward with anything. So now we can start moving forward. And then the Craven tile, this is the one that was with NIPSCO and the crossing. We are still in negotiations, I'll say, with NIPSCO on that one. So I'll give you an update whenever there's an update to be given. And then the last item of business, so a year ago, a little over a year ago now, there was 2 tile projects. One was the Kaiser tile, and the other one is the Showalter tile. South of Pinedo, between County Road 7 and 800 South, and between Meridian and 100 West. We had approved funds for the Kaiser tile. That was a project that got done last year. We had talked about, but never gave the official approval because I didn't have a quote in hand on the replacement of the Showalter. The landowner would like to use the contractor that they're comfortable with. I do have a quote from that contractor, and what we did the last time is we only paid a percentage of the amount, so that we were paying a fixed dollar amount, not based on a quote. That quote for that tile replacement was $42,575. If we were to follow suit with what we did with the Kaiser, it would be roughly 80% is what we paid. So we're somewhere around 32,000, I think, 33,000.
Is this the map
0.8. Yes,
where it's going?
yes, it's about 3,000 feet of tile.
Where's the trees that it's talking about?
Right at the ditch bank, and that's separate. We're not calculating that into our cost. That was something for the farmer, separate. So, 42, 5.
So you gotta take the
We gotta take
trees
that
out.
50.
Should take the 15 out.
We gotta take the 1,500 off of that.
Is that really what?
So would that be 41,075?
Installed 15-inch. It's actually, when we estimate like 15-inch tile replacements, we estimate it based on $15 a foot to cover fittings, tile, and labor. So it's actually cheaper than that.
We got fittings as a different line item.
Yeah. So 41 times 0.80, we're at about 32,860 if we paid 80% of that estimated amount for that project, which would
Is that,
kind of be in line with what we did with the Kaiser tile that was next door to it.
and that comes out of this?
That was the Maddox watershed, which I believe has $97,000 in it.
Yep, 97 too.
If you want to make it a round number, you could say 32,000 even.
Is it all one farmer?
So one farm on the south side of the road, one farmer on the north side of
So footage on both about equal, or you're saying?
the road. We're just going across the road for right now.
Okay.
It's about 3,000 feet from the open ditch to the road. So it's a pretty good stretch. And that tile I drove back through there after they got the weed off. I bet there was 10 holes in that thing. It's junk. The old one is junk.
32 not to exceed would probably be a number I'd recommend.
32 flat?
Yep.
All right, I'll make the motion to approve 32,000 not to exceed max for our portion of that,
Okay. Maddox.
out of the
Yeah, the
Maddox fund.
Out of the Maddox watershed.
Okay, I'll second that. All in favor, aye? 2-0.
And I think that's all I have.
Anybody here for the drainage board today? Okay, and Nate is gone.
We got Matt in Nate's place. He doesn't know that yet.
You don't know that yet? No. All right, well, we'll just, anything else for the
That's all I
drainage
got.
board? No, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second, we'll be done. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.